Hello and welcome to my video series. I am Mike Niemchak and just wanted to fill you in on an alternative to sitting in a desk chair all day. So if you're following me on either my Facebook page, Mike Niemchak, or on my online personality page, Movement Mike, you'll see that every so often I'll post things, or in a previous video, I'll post things about the importance of sitting up straight and not hunching over. This includes even talking on your phone. So you're on your phone here and you're kind of caving in and you wonder why. And this is the same thing for reading. You know, before we had electronic devices, it was all based on paper. Okay, so we're all doing things in this little box here, which eventually when you get older, you get this kind of hump on your back. So you end up looking like this, right? So you want to open up and keep supinated. Also, a lot of us have issues with tight hips, tight hamstrings in the back of our legs, low back issues, and you wonder why. We're not meant to be in this position for 8, 10, 12 hours a day at a desk office job, answering phone calls, sending emails, responding, whatever needs to happen. You do a lot of it in this area, and a lot of times, you know, you just get kind of lazy. You let gravity take over. You just don't engage muscles that properly support you as a human being that stands on 2 legs and is upright. You're on your butt all day. So there's some issues that arise with that, and in particular, working with the hips area, so the thighs and also the hips. Now men, this is not so much for you as it is for women, because for men it's really hard to have fat deposits that happen in this area here, because we have, and I say we as in men, have a we should have a high enough level of testosterone where this should not happen. This is more of an estrogen dominant based fat deposit. So we get it up here, right? In the abdomen, around, you know, the ribs and the belly, right? This is where we usually get it as men. So for women, as they get older, there may be this issue with right in here. So how do we work on that? Well, the first thing I'll say before we even get into this alternative sitting at your desk would be your diet. You gotta take care of your body by putting in the right fuel. A lot of people say that, but it is 100% true. Now, what avenue you take is completely up to you. You can either restrict calories by eating little bits throughout the day. Personally, that drives me crazy, and it's usually that kind of eating program is associated with the high carb intake. So, you know, usually these people aren't really meat eaters, or they just don't see the benefits and can't handle not having their cakes, desserts, breads, cereals. They're so, and I mean this just in a factual way, just, you know, I'm not picking on anybody. They are so addicted to these products, these food things, that they're like, no, I'd rather just kind of be hungry and eat little bits throughout the day like a mouse instead of eating big meals a couple times a day or a few times a day. I have gone that route, and I've said it before. I like the ketogenic, high fat, low carb. I do eat meat, although it's not necessary. You can do a high fat, low carb eating lifestyle without meat. It's very possible. It's just a little more difficult when you're out and about, eating with friends, stuff like that. A little more difficult, but it's definitely doable. So let's go ahead and jump into this. I've already gone through 4 minutes just talking and this up. So I'll get into the whole, let's do a little bit of this. There we go. So you can almost see the whole thing. So I have here, it's a 55 centimeter ball, right? And this is what I would recommend. If your office allows it, and most should, if your office doesn't allow it, ask them why they're being so picky. I wouldn't understand why. I've had one person that I've talked to that's been like, oh yeah, my office doesn't allow Swiss balls. What? I'd bring that up in the next meeting. So anyways, you can't really see me sitting on this, but it's about that big. It's about the same height as a regular office chair. This is just an unusually high desk. Usually a desk would be like maybe down here. You lose like 3 to 4 inches. All right, so you can see this is a pretty good thing. It's a little bit high, but it's not too bad. You can, I mean, they make them bigger. You can get a 65, even a 75 centimeter ball. So that would be about here. So you'd be more up here, which is great. All right, so let me tell you the benefits of this. So you can see it's hard to kind of do this. I mean, you can, but it's not as comfortable. You can't lean back, which is great, because if you lean back, you have a tendency to curve right here in your lumbar spine. And then that kind of, again, you're in that hunched position, and it's really bad for your hips, too. You're kind of destroying your hip flexibility and mobility, which is strength and flexibility. So, I mean, and you can kind of do your work, and you're moving a little bit. As human beings, we're made to move often, right? You don't have to do like hard workouts every day, but you should be doing little bits of movement throughout the day, every day. All right, so this kind of allows more movement to happen. I can bounce a little bit, I can kind of roll back and forth, and the really big thing is it kind of encourages you to keep your core stable. All right, so that's it. I'm going to go ahead and end it here. You've seen it, Swiss ball, stay upright. As far as the height to get, again, this is completely up to you. I don't feel like it's a big issue in how tall the ball is. More about how firm it is. If it's really squishy, again, you're kind of just like sitting in a chair. It's not as beneficial. So I would pump it up to be pretty firm. You can see here, it's not really like squishing down that much. If it was softer, I'd be really sinking into it. You want to try to keep it pretty firm. All right, and most of these balls should come with a little strap that goes around it where you can inflate it until the strap is pretty tight around the ball, and that's where you know it's optimally pumped up. I wouldn't pump it much more past that, otherwise you're going to scare the crap out of everybody in your office and yourself. So yeah, I would focus on keeping the correct pressure, not too soft, but again, not going too much more firm than what the manufacturer of the exercise ball recommends. You can see I'm really enjoying this. I like this hoppy thing. I'm taking this ball to the office tomorrow, which is Monday, to work with it at my computer, which is going to be exciting. I'll have to be in a fold-out chair. All right? I will post another video on some exercises that you may be able to do with this ball right here in your little office space. All right? Until next time, I am Movement Mike. Keep going and keep growing.